Hi. I recently made a post talking about the value of Midnight Gala Lilias, whether I thought she was worth it or not. But then, as of, well, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours from whenever this ends up getting posted, FLAN, or the limited FLAN, that was the winner of the art contest for epicseven, was just announced, and we already knew she was on the way or she was going to get announced. But she is arriving much sooner than, well, I personally expected. But again, maybe some of you guys expected her. Now, the reason why I'm making today's video is because I want to talk about specifically FLAN, her potential, and although we don't know her kit, and I'll make an updated video on this on 10.7, reacting to and breaking down her kit, the more important thing is that, well, Connor, you just talked about Midnight Gala Lilias, you just talked about whether she was worth it, but I think it's worthwhile to go a little bit deeper and give you more of a statistical breakdown with some more evidence as to why I think the way that I do. Now, to be clear, the introduction of this new FLAN character, especially right now, only hurts the pull value of Midnight Gala Lilias, and let me explain why. First and foremost, of course, they share the same currency, they have bookmarks, and it's not like this is a mystic pull sort of situation. Now, if we take a look very quickly at the meta in epicseven as well, there's a couple trends and things that I want to bring up. First off, if you look at even the top 5 characters that are picked in epicseven right now, in Masters of all places right now, it's Bloodblade Karen, it's Harsetti, Death Dealer Ray, Celine, and Ambitious Tywin. Kind of crazy, by the way, because 3 of those are ML5s, but whatever. Maybe we all got lucky. The point is that these are characters that are game-changing, important regardless of where you're going to be playing them, even if you're a new player. And a lot of you guys watching this may very well end up actually being new players. But before we dive even deeper into this, you may be thinking to yourself, okay, Connor, I'm not Masters. Well, lo and behold, even as you move up to champion, it changes a little bit. But outside of having Celine, we've basically replaced it with ML Ilanov, Bloodblade Karen, Death Dealer Ray, Ambitious Tywin, Harsetti, and the Empyrean Ilanov are back on top, and they do a stupid amount of damage and have a stupid amount of value when it comes to, well, RTA. Now, the reason why I bring these up is because, well, the character that we're talking the most about right now is, well, FLAN as opposed to Midnight Gala Lilias. Now, if you guys haven't already seen what's going on with Midnight Gala Lilias, she's got her whole event going on. Her banner is obviously here, and a lot of you guys are probably wondering whether or not you should pull for her. Now, again, I already made a video talking about that, but truth be told, I would like to update my thoughts on it because I thought that we'd have a little bit more time between when this limited and when, I guess, Midnight Gala Lilias was actually going to come into play. So with that, let me bring up exactly what you are probably expecting when it comes to this, which is, boom. Here she is, Midnight Gala Lilias. Now, as a brief overview of what I mentioned earlier, her artifact is pretty decent for Bloodblade Karen, and statistically, as of right now, as we saw from the screen, boom, Bloodblade Karen is one of the most popular characters in the game. Now, of course, if we actually head to Bloodblade Karen, she has a variety of different artifacts that work, and oh, I thought this broke down her artifact usage. Whatever the case is, you can tell that she has a decent spread of different stats. Effect resistance is also here, by the way. It's not like a dead stat, similar to like what effectiveness is. There's some people that do end up building effectiveness or effect resistance rather on Bloodblade Karen, and point being, the artifact from Midnight Gala Lilias is decent value on the most popular character in RTA right now. However, because Midnight Gala Lilias is so close in proximity to now this FLAN character, I think all bets are off. No matter which way you spin it, unless if this FLAN, I can't even say it, unless if the FLAN's kit is really awful, like you lose bookmarks specifically because you pulled for her, there's no reason for you to honestly pull for Midnight Gala Lilias, which I know, I understand. That is going to hurt. It stings me to see it. I'm literally looking at the same animation that you guys are seeing right now, and just for reference, by the way, I pulled a second copy of Midnight Gala Lilias because I really like the way that she plays, and I'm thinking about building a second Midnight Gala Lilias. Triple S, another copy. Ridiculous. However, that's not the point of today's video. What I'm going over specifically are the pros and cons of, well, basically pulling for this FLAN character as opposed to Midnight Gala Lilias. Now, I do want to mention before we start, at the end of the day, guys, this is just a poll opinion sort of video, and whatever you choose to do based off of this is totally fine. Please don't shoot me and fire off your guns in the comment section. I'm just giving you my opinion because I've definitely had people ask about whether or not this FLAN character is worth it. So I apologize. This is mostly directed towards those players, and if you got caught in the crossfire, I hope you learned something. But here are the, in my opinion, major pros of, well, pulling for this FLAN character. Number one, she's new. That's just a major pro. Interesting character. We don't know where Kid is going to be, but there's a good chance that she's going to be special because most of the artist-winning collaborative or artist-winning limited characters have been pretty decent in the past. This is basically no different, and honestly, I think she looks fantastic. Now, okay, all jokes aside, that's not a huge pro specifically for FLAN, but one of the things that you get from pulling this specific version of FLAN is, well, you don't have to worry about the next time that this character comes out. It's funny that a new character like this is coming out on Midnight Gala Lilias' banner, or so close to Midnight Gala Lilias' banner, because if you guys aren't familiar with it, Midnight Gala Lilias was a character that we've all been waiting for to return back to banner because it's been a while since she's been back on banner. And, well, guess what? Just as we were about to repull for, or just as we were about to justify repulling for or getting Midnight Gala Lilias, if you haven't gotten her for the first time, we're getting a new limited character who you'll be in the exact same position in, potentially, if she ends up being good, and if you're not able to pull for her in this 10-7 banner, or whatever, 10-7 showcase update. Now, again, the major pro is, again, you avoid that specifically. You don't have to wait a full year, potentially, for a character to show up. And to be honest with you, that's the pro that, or basically the only pro I can think of specifically for FLAN before she comes out. Now, again, once we see her kit, we'll be able to say more, and that's totally fine. But I know as of this reveal, there are already people thinking about whether they should save up, whether they should build this, that, or the other thing. And I'm here to, again, give you a bit of insight into that. Now, again, for the cons specifically for pulling, or the cons specifically for pulling for this FLAN instead of Midnight Gala Lilias, well, truth be told, guys, even when I looked at Midnight Gala Lilias' play rate, the truth is that, well, she's still pretty high up there. She's got a 51% win rate, specifically in Champion. You can't really see it, but it says Champion. And if you take a look at where she is in terms of pick rate, even in Champion, this is pretty high. This is 4.64% pick rate with a 51% win rate and a 21% ban rate. Ban, by the way, I'm pretty sure. I wasn't able to verify, but the assumption here is not that it's pre-banning, it's post-banning, or some combination of that. Now, again, this is pretty indicative, in my opinion, of her being a decent pick, because even if you look at the other characters that are above her, these are characters that I'm sure if you're playing in Champion or wherever you are, you're likely to see a bunch of these other characters here too. There are players that will play, again, Bellion, that'll play Moon Bunny, they'll play Aiden, Arbiter Vildred, all these characters up and above, and Midnight Gala Lilias is not that far. At worst, she is roughly she has half the number of plays as Abyssal Euphine or Arbiter Vildred, and I'm going to be honest with you, I see those characters a lot, especially seeing or talking to other players that are playing RTA right now. Now, in terms of that, let's actually break down the cons to missing out on her. Now, she is absolutely fantastic against the matchups that you're seeing here on the right. She is very, very good. Well, I don't know why that's so weird. Good synergy. I don't know why they don't say specifically, but okay, let's break this down real quick. It says she's weak against Senya, she's weak against A Tywin, and she's weak against Bloodblade Karen. I don't actually necessarily agree with this. To be honest with you, I thought this originally said strong against, or like weak to, and these are actually the characters that I consider Midnight Gala Lilias to do pretty well against specifically. Now, Senya is a bit of a coin flip, but specifically for my Midnight Gala Lilias, the point of my Midnight Gala Lilias is to kill a character like A Tywin because, well, A Tywin is a character that normally has 24 to 25k HP, and the same can be said about with specifically Dragon Bride Senya. The other thing that doesn't really make sense for me, specifically for the hero matchups of here, is that Bloodblade Karen is not actually very strong against Gala, since you can't kill Gala in one hit. Not really sure where this is going. I'm assuming that the reason why some of these characters are even here right now is because, again, their win rates are so high up here. But I'm going to spin this con on its head, because as you're seeing right now, based off of the play and win rates of Midnight Gala Lilias right now, she has to deal with one of or two of the more annoying characters in the game right now as well. That's Harsetti and ML Ilanov. Now, I've seen plenty of you commenters and you epicseven players specifically say that, oh, Harsetti sucks, or, oh, like, how come you can't pre-ban? And guys, I'm going to be honest with you. There's more than 2 characters you have to pre-ban in the game right now. We're talking about the top 5 characters here being super annoying with ML Ilanov and Harsetti. Man, we haven't even talked about New Moon Luna. We haven't even talked about Blood Moon Haste. We're not even talking about Politis, Laya, Knockwall, any of these characters that you're looking down here. So to all this, or to all those who believe that Harsetti and Ilanov being popular and having high win rate is a fluke, it's not. I get it. This character does, or some of these characters do feel kind of annoying to play against, and you can win against these characters. That's not what I'm trying to insinuate. But the win rates don't lie, and even if we move to something like Emperor, guess what, guys? The list basically doesn't change. You want to go to Legend? Guess what, guys? The numbers basically don't change again. Emma Ilanov drops a little bit more, and instead of having something like, I don't know, a 55% win rate, now she has a 57% win rate. So my point being here is that she has a couple characters right now that she has to deal with, despite her being very popular right now. And that makes sense. Characters like Bloodblade Karen are going to be at the top of the ladder, but they are countered by other characters like, again, ML Politis, maybe New Moon Luna, Miki, whoever you want to specifically dice up against. And my point here, again, is this. If you are going to be pulling for Midnight Gala Lilias, do understand that she is good for PvE, and there's value to that, but she's also good in PvP. I just wanted to dismiss that claim because there were a bunch of players that were saying that she's not used in PvP. They don't see her at all in PvP, which is ridiculous. That, like, the stats just prove that, specifically right here. So let me give some more insight into specifically why, although she does have PvP and PvE usage right now, I still wouldn't recommend pulling her. And that's, again, guys, look at the character that you're seeing on screen right now. This is a character that is likely coming with an artifact, is coming soon. And now, because Midnight Gala Lilias has been reintroduced and rerun one time, the next time that we have something like a limited collab banner, she's no longer nearly as limited, exclusive, rare, etc. And again, although she does have a pretty high play rate, specifically on the ladder, as we saw here at the 4.64% win rate, the characters that are even more played, or the characters that are played at an even higher rate than her, are characters like Harsetti, who deals with her very easily. Death Dealer Ray, who deals with her very easily. Celine, if she's on stun EE, actually deals pretty well, actually, with the Midnight Gala Lilias. A Tywin can also kind of deal with her easily. Again, all these and some of these are kind of dependent on the scenario and matchup, but the characters that aren't negotiable, Empyrean Ilanov, New Moon Luna, Zio, like all these characters like Knockwall, Sea Phantom Politis, all higher play rate, and, well, that's basically all you need to care about when it specifically comes to whether or not a character like Midnight Gala Lilias is going to be viable. So take these things into consideration when you're actually, well, considering whether or not you should be pulling for someone like Midnight Gala Lilias. Again, I know what I've done and what maybe you're seeing from this character in PvE or PvP may suggest otherwise, but plain and simple, I think that Midnight Gala Lilias, I was wrong about her specifically. I don't think there was a way for me to control it, but with the new limited coming out so soon, especially if you're tight on resources, I would probably not recommend you pull for Midnight Gala Lilias, despite honestly how good she is. She is a tank buster. She is so good against so many of the characters in the game if you have some way to deal with ML Ilanov not being in the game. But as of Harsetti and as of, again, the Ilanov, taking up a ban slot in case you're, or Ilanov not being a ban slot anymore if you have to ban someone like Harsetti and Zio or whatever combination you want. With all these different factors, I think that Midnight Gala Lilias is strong, certainly, or has her usage certainly, but has equally as common counters, and she's not going to be nearly as limited as she was before. In any case, guys, I'm excited to see what the new FLAN does. I know this isn't going to be like the 40-minute discussion that I go over for the character. And before you guys clip this and take this out of context, hopefully the thumbnail I put doesn't reflect something ridiculous. But the truth is that although we don't know anything about FLAN already, outside of, I guess, what she looks like, and again, she looks great, just the fact that she is being released is enough reason for you to honestly not pull from Midnight Gala Lilias anymore. I hate to say it, I hate to break it to you guys, but since we already know the way that epicseven trends, and epicseven specifically trends with us having custom banners pretty regularly, I'd probably say a couple times a year, there is no longer any reason for us to, well, pull for a Midnight Gala Lilias, and I apologize for that. Hostess of the Banquet really is honestly a fantastic artifact, specifically for Bloodblade Karen as well, but you'll make do with Bastion of Hope or Shepherd of the Hollow, whichever one you want to run. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Honestly, I wish I had cut this video literally in half in terms of duration, but I wanted to give a little bit more reasoning and logic to what I was talking about. I wanted to show that despite Midnight Gala Lilias having playtime, some of her biggest counters are also even more popular than she is and picked more regularly with higher win rates. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks again for watching. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys can use this to guide you a little bit or give you a little bit more insight into whether you should be pulling from Midnight Gala Lilias and whether you should be saving for the new FLAN. I have no idea even what her name is. But thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys all next time. Stay safe, stay healthy. Adios. Bye-bye.